So today we're going to be reviewing It Follows, the 2014 psychological horror thriller directed by David Robert Mitchell, starring Micah Monroe. Alright, so going into what works in this movie. So I'm going to start off with going through the sound and the score to this movie. I've purchased it about a month ago, and I've been blown away ever since. I've been listening to it, trying to piece together where certain noises are going to hit with what the movie's going to, or how the movie's going to play out. And after witnessing the movie, I'm so happy I had the score originally, because everything I thought, it wasn't how I pictured it in the film, and it builds such a creepy tone to the whole movie, and it's so electronic but creepy at the same time. And it's done by Disaster Piece, which is all original music. I believe he's done like video games, like for apps and stuff prior to doing It Follows, which worked out tremendously. It's so creepy, and it adds that extra tone to really build the suspense and creepiness for the film. The second pro to this movie, I guess we could say, is the cinematography. Oh my god, the cinematography in this film is phenomenal. There's so much going on in those shots. The use of space and empty space, but with Micah Monroe's character and building the empty space around her so that she's kind of engulfed but still not, really adds to what this movie's trying to do with the whole something's always watching you, or something's supposed to be always watching you or following you, trying to get close to you. So it really does a good job of driving that idea home, as well as the opening shot is a magnificent fucking long take. Oh my god. I was sitting there, it was like, wait, there has not been a cut yet, and it's still happening, and it's tremendous on how they do that. And there's so many POV shots which work, because you get the POV of both characters and entity. Also, there's a lot of 360 shots, which I wasn't sure. Like when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, but as it does the 360, I don't want to go into full spoiler territory, but as it does do a 360, there's stuff that you should be aware of. This movie really challenged you to be actively watching the foreground as well as the background, because there's a lot more going on in both than just the singular level of field. Let's go into Micah Monroe and her acting, which works perfectly. She's the girl from The Guest, directed by Adam Wingard. Tremendous. I was totally okay with what she had to do, what was required of her character, and it worked towards the movie. Personally, there's parts where I did get scared because of how they built tension, and that was all through the score and the camera work. The camera work is beautiful, as well as all the stuff the way they assemble the set is just phenomenal. Like, there's so many things going on at once that just really builds in and really helps her acting come out in the film. If I had to rate it out of a grade, I would probably give it an A. Not an A plus, but definitely an A. Only because the only con I really have of the movie that I don't think work is that the supporting characters or the minor characters they don't really have much to do. I defend that in my own argument, in the sense that the whole story is supposed to revolve around Micah Monroe's character, Jay, as opposed to her sibling and their friends. But they really don't have much to work with what they're given, and they kind of just they're kind of just there and don't really drive the narrative that much or really add that much to it. They're kind of just present in what's taking place to Micah Monroe's character. So that would be a con for me, as well as probably the biggest issue with it is the dialogue is really bland. There's nothing really to think about in what's being said and how stuff happens. The dialogue's really not the best, but overall, the cinematography, the score, the acting of Micah Monroe, the leading actress, and just the direction of this movie is just, it's so creepy, and it really brings home this whole voyeurism idea of like being scared of just someone just watching you. And that's just the scariest thing, just having someone or something watch you that you can't make out, but you know that it's there. So overall, I'd say it's a good movie. Actually, I'd say it's an amazing movie. Check it out if you get a chance to. I had to go to Toronto to see it, which is really shitty. I feel like that movie needs to get a way wider release because it's so unique and original in what it's trying to present, and it really brings home that whole like chainmail myth of like, if you don't send this to 1,000 people, something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's kind of in that whole schoolyard myth idea of you have to pass this thing on to get rid of it. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about It Follows. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I understand. If you wish to subscribe, subscribe. I'm going to try and do this more often because I really want to get into movie reviewing. I used to run a blog where I did that, but I want to get into the video aspect of it. So we're going to see how this turns out, really. And yeah, check it out. It Follows. Great fucking movie.